Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Instacar HK. Today I am actually at the Collecting Cars Hong Kong Coffee Run. This weekend Collecting Cars is having their global coffee run where they will be having coffee runs all over the world, including of course Hong Kong, London, Italy and Singapore as well. Now I've driven my Maserati Indy here today, but I've also taken the opportunity to switch cars with my mate Matt from Autoficionado later with his 1995 Bentley Continental R. So I thought I'll sneak in a review of it as well. Now, this is the first Bentley we have ever reviewed on our channel, which is always exciting. I'm also personally quite excited about because the Bentley Continental R has always been my favorite Bentley, hand on heart, because I always really like the shape. And honestly, if I haven't moved to Singapore, there may well be one in my garage by now because these are super good value. They're about Hong Kong $300,000 now for a second-hand Bentley Continental R. This is considering the fact that when this car was first released in 1991, it was the most expensive production car in the world, costing a whopping £180,000 in the UK in 1991. So if you buy it in Hong Kong, it's pretty much double that because of the tax. Now, the Bentley Continental R is quite an important model in the Bentley lineup history because this is the first model for a long time that is uniquely Bentley. Now what that means is a lot of you would know that Bentley and Rolls-Royce shared ownership for the longest time, and pretty much since the 1960s Bentley never really had a model which was unique to itself. It was always a rebadged Rolls-Royce. You will see Bentley badges in models such as the Silver Shadow, such as the Corniche, which is basically a Rolls-Royce. It looks everything like a Rolls-Royce, but it's badged as a Bentley. So in the early mid-80s, the senior management of Bentley finally saw the potential in the Bentley badge and decided that they wanted to build a model specific to the Bentley brand. And then towards the late 80s, designer Graham Hull came up with this beautiful design, which is the Continental R. Now, as you can see from this, it looks nothing like any of the Rolls-Royce models at the time. And it also got a more sporty look than the whole classy, prestigious look of the Rolls-Royce. And that is because they wanted to give a nod to Bentley's really impressive racing history. So this was intentionally made more sporty, the look as well. And apparently the R in the Continental R name stands for road holding. Right, so it's time to go for a drive. And immediately, the first thing I feel is how heavy the doors are. Oh my God, I mean, I've sat in my fair share of and drove my fair share of Mercedes S-Class and whatnot before, but this door is something else. It's like a ton. But you know, it's what you expect, right? It's an ultra luxurious car, and a Bentley no less. So keys, you got these very conventional old style keys. So put it in the slot on the side and one click starts with no hassle. Immediately you hear it's a very luxurious, very calm startup, you know, just a whiff telling you that the car has started. Oh, I need the aircon. And then yeah, so to start, you have to pull the lever up and before putting it to D. So unlike the old Rolls Royces, the gear stick is not on the side. Oh, there's my Indy. Sorry, let's go. So Matt from Autoficionado has taken the Indy, and he looks after my car anyway, so he'll be very familiar. So let's go. Oh, the aircon. It's cold, so yeah, let's see where we go. So now we're heading off. We're actually leaving the Collecting Cars show and back to Matt's garage, Autoficionado in Yuen Long. So first off, you know, we're leaving the car park, as you can see. But it's a big car. It's a big and long car, so I do have to pay attention going down these ramps, because the last thing I want is to, curb a wheel or something. As you would expect, everything is really light to the touch. The steering is light, but with some good weight, so it's not, totally aloof. You do feel some feedback, and the windows is very light to the touch. Right, very light to the touch, the windows. The throttle, so it has every characteristic of a luxury car that it is. The engine just purrs. Now this has the 6.75 liter V8 turbo engine. Again, another thing unique to Bentley. As you know, Rolls-Royces in the days don't use these turbo engines, and this engine was made for Bentley, and it first appeared in the Mulsanne turbo before being put into this Continental R. So as mentioned, the Continental R was released in 1991. It had quite a long run, with production ceasing only at 2003. So it is a very popular car. It came in different versions. There's the convertible version of this, which looks great. And it was based on the Rolls-Royce new SZ platform back then, being the newer model from the SY chassis. So like I said, long, big car, but drives very comfortably, very easy. Now, back to the engine. So at the time when this car was released, it followed the Rolls-Royce policy, which was they don't give the actual figure of the horsepower. They only describe it as adequate or sufficient. So there were no official data of this car's horsepower, but it's estimated at 330 horsepower. But for the later models, I think it was after 96, Bentley then started to release the horsepower data, and the later models, the upgraded models, were 370 horsepower. Now we were just starting, so still getting a feel of the car. This is my first time driving it. But now it's a long car, but it's still a car from the 90s, so it's not that big in a sense. It's not too wide. You don't feel too imposed by the width of the car. It's by no means small, but it's not bad. It's when you're on the road like this, open road like this, the size doesn't feel too bad, but it's very long. It is very long indeed. You can immediately tell it's a luxury cruiser, and the car just purrs away. Now the gearbox, it used the then brand new Rolls-Royce gearbox, which is the 4L80E transmission or something. It's a very long name. And it's a 4-speed automatic, and as you would expect, it's very seamless. It doesn't feel jerky or anything. Let's try to give it some gas. We'll do a bit of kick down. Tons of torque, as you would expect. Powerful, but you do feel the weight of the car. At the end of the day, it is a heavy car, and if the estimates are correct, 330 horsepower ain't that much. But guess what? It feels adequate. It feels adequate and sufficient. Kicks down well. It's not a sports car. I mean, it's sportier than the Rolls-Royce models, but it's not a sports car. So it's fine. It's a very good cruiser. Even just now, kicking it down a bit, it's not dramatic. It just goes. You can't hear any very loud engine noise or anything. Just very composed and comfortable, very elegant car, as it should be. I'm going to slow back down a bit and just enjoy what this car is for, cruising. Well, that was a pretty good drive on the highway. We had some pretty clear traffic. Not anymore. We're in some traffic jam now. So yeah, all calmed down and just wanted to kind of summarize the short drive I had on this car. As mentioned many times, of course, a very comfortable and luxurious car. It has self-leveling suspensions, but I think because it is still from the 90s, you do feel the suspensions a little bit more than, you know, modern Rolls Royces, for example, which is good. It gives you more driver feel. But that engine, that powertrain is so smooth. You know, we did a bit of kick down just now, which is really not what this car is for, you know, abrupt increase of speed, you know, really speeding and cutting through the lanes. It's really not what this car is made for, obviously. It's really a comfortable cruiser. So just cruising comfortably along the highway just now in this very big and comfortable seat with the cannoli leather. You can really just, you know, sit back and sort of chill and relax, you know, while you're driving the car. Really nice, really nice. One thing to mention is the brakes. I think it's one of those old school Rolls-Royce type hydraulic brakes. So when you step on it, it does kind of have it does give you some feedback, the brake pedal, which is not something new to me, because if you guys remember long ago, I did this Rolls-Royce Corniche video, really poor quality. That was the first time I shot a video on my own. But the brakes, that one really had a lot of feedback, but obviously the Corniche is a lot older than this one. So this kind of gives you that feel as well. But yeah, just great. I mean, the aircon, this car is very sorted because it's Matt's own car, and Matt is a Rolls-Royce and Bentley specialist, so clearly, you know, he takes really good care of this car. So yeah, in conclusion, lovely car, my first Bentley review. I'm wondering if this is the first Bentley I've ever driven. It probably is. I don't think I've driven a Bentley before, which is great. I mean, no letdowns. In a way, I'm really glad I moved to Singapore, because I really would have bought one, especially after this test drive, had I stayed in Hong Kong. And they're great cars, but a Bentley is a Bentley, okay? If anyone tells you it's cheap to maintain, they are clearly lying. So no, I mean, great car, but as much as I want one, I think it's better that I don't, because I have enough high maintenance car. I don't need another Bentley. But yeah, so great car. Thank you, Matt from Autoficionado, for lending out this car. And thank you for driving my Indy and being the camera car. How cool is that? We have to be the first in Hong Kong, if not the world, to use a Maserati Indy as a camera car. Hope the footage comes out nice. If you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed this car, please give us a like, please subscribe, please remember to click the bell button next to the subscribe button so you know when our next video is. Thank you and have a good day.